are back
We are.
with
Let's go.
another episode of the Xbox Corner. I am CMoney. Over on the other side of the screen, you see the very lovely and beautiful
What
Doodle.
is up, everybody? We are
Listen,
back. Thank you
we
for joining
are
us
back.
again.
We are back. We just did a video yesterday, but we had to come back because the news is not stopping. Okay, we're getting more and more, and Xbox has responded. Okay, we had a video yesterday about the rumors that populated our internet feeds and our Twitter feeds, and Xbox they don't disappoint us. All right, we were talking about how they uh, should probably come out and say something, but then we're like, man, Phil doesn't need to come out every time. Well, they went ahead and they decided to say something, but they said it in the clever way that they do,
As they always do.
as they always do, because they didn't come out and do an official statement or anything like that. Like that's for the casuals. They don't need that, right? They're doing a message that us hardcore fans are going to be able to look at and see it and say, okay,
Yeah, read between the
read
lines.
between the lines. Exactly, baby. They're answering it. So our homies at Xbox, they put out a tweet. Okay. New year, new energy. Now, mind you, we're 8 days in to the month. We're 8 days in to the new year.
Don't you think they
They're
would have posted
exactly
this, I don't know, January 1st?
facts or
Maybe the
second or
2nd,
a
the
couple
3rd,
days.
but the 8th?
Yes. They did this because they were sending us the message that we wanted them to send us, right? So in this tweet, Xbox, new year, new energy. They say, "What's in? What is in for 2024?" So it says bread, right? In our new toaster. Have you seen
Yeah.
it? Yes, we have. We're getting ours. It's on its way. Can't
Can't
wait.
wait.
Activision Blizzard King is in. Finally closed, and now they're fully in.
Absolutely.
First party games. First party games
Are in.
are in, not out, not
In.
out there for others to enjoy, but in-house here for the Xbox. And playing more indie games and console love. Doodle,
Mm.
console love,
Console love, not PC,
not
right?
mobile,
Not mobile,
console
console
love.
love.
Because
Console love in first party
mm,
games. Doesn't this just has a ring to it?
it does. It
It
seems like that's
does.
exactly what they're trying to link together, because if they were in fact going third party, as many of these clowns on the internet would like to lead you to believe, um, then they wouldn't be focusing on their console, right? They would be focusing on other consoles and other uh, platforms. So that's what's in. What's out?
Mm.
The toast, right? Popping out of our new toaster. Facts. Okay, cool. But this is the moment right now where all your ponies who are watching, because I know a bunch of you are watching because you're looking to talk shit, no problem. Um, Xbox came out and decided to talk shit first to you. Uh, outside grass you can touch if you want. Yeah, ponies, stop crying. Go touch some grass.
Go touch some
All right,
grass.
go
We know
touch
you
some
don't have
grass.
games.
You
Go
ain't got
find
nothing else to
something
do.
else
Get
to
off the
do.
Twitter. Go entertain yourself outside. All right,
Stop making things up. Go do
facts,
something with your life.
facts. Uh, disliking a game you've played for hundreds of hours.
What could this be about? What kind of shade could this be?
Doodle, I don't know.
Could it be about the review bombing that they were doing over
On Steam?
on Steam for
Yeah.
Starfield?
Oh, that's
Um,
right. The 800-hour
yes,
people who played it for 800 hours but gave it a negative review. Got it. Got
exactly.
it. You gotta love Xbox calling them out on their bullshit. That's a beautiful
Yes,
thing.
that's how,
Uh,
guys.
blaming your connection for your kill death ratio. Basically saying you ponies don't play games. You guys suck. Accept it. And the bottom part,
And most important,
console wars are
yes,
out. Console wars are out. Why are they out?
because
Hmm.
there's no one to compete with because
Ponies are not part of that
PlayStation
war anymore with
is
us.
out,
They're not
right?
part of the war with us. Sorry, guys. It's not happening for you. Consoles are what we're focusing on the inside. Console wars, that we leave that to y'all. That doesn't matter to us. You guys are obsessed with us. I don't know why.
Apparently,
I don't know why. Well, I mean, I do know
apparently,
why. They have 0 games to play,
we get it.
right? So Xbox came out fully loaded, man. They gave us a lot. with this message here, again, being pretty direct for us hardcore people to take a look at this, and you can see the connection right away. First party games, console love.
In
It's the
the
first
in the
party game.
jabs to the
Yeah.
ponies.
And then they took the rest of the time jabbing up ponies, right? So it's a beautiful thing. Now, again, this is one of those things where they didn't come out and do this big statement. They came out and they sent the message like this, very similar to another issue we recently had
What could that be,
with
see?
the obsession with the idea that Blade was going to be multi-platform, is going to go to
And how did
PlayStation.
they shut
And
that down?
Aaron
Look at
Greenberg
that.
shut it down very quickly and succinctly with this right here. He went ahead and put Blade, thumbs up, green Xbox symbols in his glasses, letting everybody know, come on, we're Team Green. There's not going anywhere else. And you know what came from that? I don't hear anybody else talking about the fact that Blade is going to go elsewhere. We've all accepted it. Now, one other thing that you guys haven't talked about, because it seems like you've accepted it, but of course, is our background factions. RIP.
RIP.
RIP faction.
RIP.
you you died
A
too
moment
young.
of silence for factions. Psych.
Ah, no silence, no silence. But yes, so they went ahead, okay, they came out with this tweet and pretty much just put an end to the discussion, right? Now, understand that this all came from this one rumor that we talked about yesterday with, oh, I'm hearing, of course you're hearing that these games are coming to a different platform. One game, a game coming to a different platform. But again, we've gotten past that.
Now, who did we hear last year? We heard the ponies say that, Xbox is going to become a party publisher, right? We
Facts.
heard last year the ponies say that Xbox is going to become a third party publisher, right? And now this is out there and everyone has ran with it, right?
Oh
One
yeah.
post. That's all it took for
One post.
everyone to go ahead and make this seem as if it's a reality. Now, let me ask you a question, C. Did this post come from Phil Spencer or
No,
Matt Booty
no,
or Sarah Bond?
no, not at all.
No, right?
Not
Did
at
it
all.
come directly from Xbox?
No.
So then what's going on?
Well, it came from a rumor from somebody that is somebody, right? Whatever. Again, don't know who this guy is, but he put out a rumor, and that's where it all went through. But what we do know is they started talking about how Nintendo might be getting it, PlayStation might be getting it, and it started out as this Hi-Fi Rush situation. But the only factual thing we have to go on is back in December, my man Phil Spencer, okay, December of 2022, to be clear, okay, when Nintendo came into the conversation where Phil Spencer said, "Hey, we're going ahead and we're going to go into this deal with Nintendo." It was for Call of Duty. Okay. If you look at it, it says it right here. Microsoft has entered into a 10-year deal commitment to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo following the merger of Microsoft and Activision Blizzard King. Microsoft is committed to helping bring more games to more people, however they choose to play. Now, let's be clear on the verbiage here. He didn't say wherever they choose to play, however, which is console, PC, mobile. That's the how. Wherever would leave it open to, oh, you're going to be playing this on different consoles, possibly, right? But no, Call of Duty coming to Nintendo. That's the only deal that was given to them. Now, some people remember that Brad Smith went ahead and did a tweet, okay? And you can't see it too much here, but this is to show you that that tweet that they cited, this is Kotaku, right back when they first came out with the message in February of this year of 20 or this past year 2023, and it's now deleted. But I have a cleaner version here, which is this is from fortune.com. They were talking about the same thing, and the tweet that got deleted was Brad Smith saying, "We've now signed a binding 10-year contract to bring Xbox games to Nintendo's gamers. This is just part of our commitment to bring Xbox games and Activision titles like Call of Duty to more players on more platforms." Okay. Now, Doodle, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If this was in fact their stance, okay, that games are just going to come to more players in more places. Why is that tweet gone?
The tweet is gone because it's obviously not factual,
Because it's
right?
obviously not
Right?
factual.
They misspoke. If not, the tweet will still be out there, but
So
it's
did they
not.
clarify it? I think they did. If we look at a follow-up tweet, okay, again, these are the facts, not rumors
Not rumors, facts, baby.
that are trying to condemn Xbox for doing something that they have not done. Brad Smith goes on record right here on a tweet and says, "We want the record to be clear and address any misunderstandings. I'm delighted to repost below this statement and affirm Microsoft's strong commitment to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo's customers if our acquisition of Activision Blizzard is approved by regulators." And the post that he wants to put up is that Microsoft and Nintendo have now negotiated and signed a binding 10-year legal agreement to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo players the same day as Xbox with full feature and content parity so they can experience Call of Duty just as Xbox and PlayStation gamers enjoy Call of Duty. We are committed to providing long term equal access to Call of Duty to other gaming platforms, bringing more choice to more players and more competition to the gaming market.
Now, how many times did he say Call of Duty?
Multiple times.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. But they don't want to, that's not accepted, right? But apparently the rumor is that it's coming
But the
everywhere.
rumor is acceptable,
But the
right?
rumor is
That is
acceptable.
okay, right? But not this. How about let's read what was actually said, and then
Exactly.
that's what we run with, and that's
Now,
what we give light to.
absolutely agreed. Now, you got Ryan McCaffrey. Okay. He is out here talking about how Hi-Fi Rush coming to Switch, nobody should be upset, nobody should be mad. But then after he talked those things, he went ahead and put out this tweet over here. So let's talk about it. Ryan McCaffrey writes, the responses to the quote tweeted post have shown that lots of Xbox fans have not accepted the fact that Microsoft is playing a different game. They're not out here trying to sell more consoles than Sony anymore. Phil straight up admitted they lost that fight. They're building ecosystems, i.e., Game Pass, and trying to make money on lots of platforms. The ABK acquisition was as much about mobile as anything else. So I hear this and I feel like he's not even understanding what he's reading him like what he's saying himself because he just said that ABK acquisition was about mobile
Mm.
and the ecosystems they have are Game Pass, not bring our single game to another platform.
Now, what I'm hearing here and what I feel about it is that the ponies don't understand that Microsoft is playing a different game.
Mhm.
You understand that?
Yes.
Microsoft is playing at a different level. And I don't know how you can give up on console sales if you're literally building Game Pass so that gamers want to get an Xbox and sign up for the Game Pass subscription.
Or do it on mobile or PC. But at no point in time was the plan ever to say, "Hey, let's go ahead and put it on PlayStation." Phil did not go to Satya and say, "Hey, listen, I want you to drop 80 bills because I want to put our games on PlayStation." This did not
No, you
happen.
know why? Because what he said was if you want to compete, if it's competition that you want, then let's compete, right? Does that sound
Compete.
friendly? Does
Why
that
would
sound
he say this?
friendly?
Dude, this ABK deal would have been done a billion years ago if they would have just said, "Hey, listen, guys, we're going to be bringing our games over to PlayStation and Nintendo. So
Yeah,
there's
so
no problem.
why
All the
would
games are
anybody
coming,
be
not
upset?
just Call of Duty." It would have been the easiest way to do it. Why talk about competition? Xbox could have just waved the white flag a while ago and be like, "Hey, we're good.
We're
We're just
giving
bringing
you
our
the
games
games,
everywhere."
guys. What is there to fight about? But no, instead, Jim Ryan said, without Call of Duty, What? See,
Their
without Call of
business will
Duty,
never recover.
we are done.
They're done.
We're
They're
done.
over. And listen, Ryan keeps going. Okay, he's not done with this. He says exclusives bring people into the ecosystem, but then suggests that it's okay for the exclusives to go elsewhere, whether that's on a console, PC, or mobile device. Since when did anybody ever suggest that mobile needed an exclusive?
Mm.
Because that's what he just said right here. And whoever said that about PC? No one ever. No one ever said that. Only for console is that the verbiage that's used. Nowhere else. But he says if they want to throw year-old stuff on Switch on top of it, that's free money for them and nothing lost to Xbox gamers who still have it on Game
But
Pass.
there is, right? Because if you stood by Phil and Xbox in the brand, Phil should not turn around and go ahead and put these games anywhere else. These are
No,
the games we've been waiting for.
exactly.
So there is a problem if a
There
year later
absolutely
they go ahead and put it in a different platform.
there absolutely is a problem. We have an ecosystem of our own. We if we wanted to play these games on PlayStation, we would have the PlayStation, we would have the Switch, but we have the Xbox. That's where first party belongs. Just like I don't expect any of the PlayStation games to be coming over to Xbox. I don't expect to see God of War on Xbox after a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 10. It's not going to happen. So
Those are
to the to
PlayStation games, right?
exactly. To
It
allude to the idea that a game that's a year old is free to go elsewhere is asinine,
it
and
is
honestly, just some
ridiculous.
pony bot shit to say.
It really is. And I mean, I tell you right now, Mario and Zelda are not
Mhm.
coming to Xbox or PlayStation either.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not
And
at all.
so how is Xbox always up for grabs?
No matter
That's
what.
my question. How is that? How does that make sense? How does it make sense for Xbox to make their first party games available and that to be okay? But the question is not there for any other platform. It is ridiculous.
Agreed 150%. Not to mention that if any of this held water, like if any of this was actually gonna be true, then my man Phil probably wouldn't have gone on Windows Central
Mm.
weeks ago and made statements like this. Hill says, I'll start by saying we have no plans to bring Game Pass to PlayStation or Nintendo. It's not our plans. But I think you hit on the right point of what it means to own an Xbox. The thing I want to be focused on is how do we continue to innovate for people who've made the commitment to our hardware platform? And how do we continue to make sure that they feel great about their investment in what we've built? I'm obviously going to have my own point of view. This part I'm actually going to skip because he's just talking about how great everything is. But he comes back with this. He says, I want us to continue to innovate so people on our console feel like we're making investments in console that matches their commitment they're making to us. Game Pass was one of the things that we over the last 5 years we built and we continue to grow. It's on PC, it's on cloud. It's an important part of the Xbox console identity, and I think it will continue to be that. And we will continue to look at future ways for us to innovate across our game portfolio and our platform. Please tell me, Doodle, where does what he just said weeks ago, how does that play into what Ryan is talking about now and this rumor without any merit whatsoever just floating around?
My annoyance is that if like knowing that Phil said this, how are any Xbox podcasts out there giving any light to this rumor as if it's something that is taking place?
Outside of completely just calling it idiotic.
Calling it out, yes, and saying this is bull,
Facts.
right? How many times do we expect Phil to come out here and repeat himself? We
100%.
should not be expecting that of him. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've said it before. Phil deserves a lot more respect than he gets.
Facts.
And I'm not just talking from the media and from the ponies. I'm talking from the Xbox community who runs around waving their arms, kicking and screaming every freaking time a rumor gets spread. And what they do is that they keep lighting the fire instead of shutting it down. And so Phil has to come out here and give you a bottle and burp your ass because like you act like you're not strong enough or your bones are not strong enough.
It's true.
Get yourself a backbone.
It's true. Whereas
Toughen up.
PlayStation has all these rumors and all these pieces of information that are pretty damning that
They
come out,
are.
and they don't acknowledge that
No,
shit. Like
no.
the house is burning and they're just like, we're cool. And I'm not saying we should be blind. What I'm saying is that this is not fact.
Now, if Phil came out here and said that, but
Then
we
we can have
already
a different
heard,
discussion.
as you just read, CMoney, what Phil had to say.
Exactly.
And so, why are we going ahead and grabbing that shovel with everybody else and doing the same damn thing that they're doing?
Agreed 150%. Now remember, this was from this one rumor that started. Somehow they didn't mention a game, they didn't mention a platform, but Nintendo was assumed, and then PlayStation ponies were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get these games. Oh my god, we hated them before, now they're great and we love them if they come to us."
It always the same
And
way,
then
see?
facts. It's ridiculous. And then now we're hearing a different game coming up, and that is from Jeff Grubb from Giant Bomb, and he had this to say.
So the it's like Sea of Thieves, right? I'll say I've heard that was one that might be coming to other platforms. That so when I first started hearing these rumors, I was like, oh, this is probably about Sea of Thieves, because I've heard that could come to Switch and PlayStation, and maybe that might be the kind of thing where it's like actually all of this stuff is happening, and Microsoft is trying to like rejigger its strategy, and that kind of comes back to the point that you were making that we should expect more of this.
So now Sea of Thieves is there. But when you hear this, right? So now you're saying this is a rumor that he heard. This is something that he had heard, that they had thought about possibly doing this in the past. We don't know at what point this was, right? We don't know if this was back in the early days when Sea of Thieves was first coming out and they were saying, "Oh man, it's not doing too well," or whatever it is. Maybe we spread it out and try to reach other platforms. We have no idea at what point in time this is, but what we do know is that it hasn't happened, the rumor that he heard in the past, and what we can see is that he's using this new rumor as a way to bring back that rumor and to kind of also put into the idea that maybe, okay, maybe that is true, and maybe there's other things that are true. So maybe they're getting Hi-Fi Rush, maybe they're good Starfield, like maybe everything is
Of
coming, right?
course.
Like it's a big now, almost like a snowball effect where it's like, oh, it was a little rumor, but now we're gonna add this rumor to another rumor. Neither of these rumors have been, you know, made out to be real, but
Those rumors
they're still doing
are
it.
as factual, as true as, Phil is gonna go out there and give every pony an Xbox
Yeah,
with a free
exactly.
subscription to Game Pass so that they can play their games.
Exactly. Now, Steven Totillo also jumping into the bandwagon here, and he's coming out here and he's saying it, that he has a source that says Xbox has considered bringing hit Sea of Thieves to PlayStation. Okay, so says Microsoft has looked into launching its hit Xbox and PC multiplayer pirate game Sea of Thieves on PlayStation. A source familiar with plans for the port tells Game File. So a source said that this was the case. Um, if you go over here to this next part of the same area we were in, the same story, he says over the weekend, an Xbox rep declined to comment when I asked about Sea of Thieves and PlayStation. Since Friday, rumors have been swirling, and we're again hearing all the same things, Jeff Grubb and all that fun stuff. So And he says, I'm unable to verify if Sea of Thieves to PlayStation is still an active plan for Microsoft. Now, again, how old were these original rumors? Nobody says, right? Nobody comments. Nobody says, we heard this back in the day. We heard this years ago. No one mentions that. But what we do know is that as of this moment, the person who heard these rumors cannot get them validated, right? Now, why would you hear a rumor from one person, but try to get a comment from the rep and get declined? And like, if that person knew what they were talking about, why do you need the rep? Right? You should have been like, oh no, I know for sure, right? Because this guy, he obviously knows his shit. No, Totillo is doing what he's supposed to do, and he's making it clear. He has no idea if this is true, right? If this is real or if this is happening. But that's the world we live in now, where it's just like all of a sudden you got a rumor, let's just run with it. And again, whether it's true or not, whether it becomes something, if it gets announced, then that's when the discussions make sense to have, because then we say, wow, the things that we talked about where Phil said this and Xbox said this, now that's not holding up, right? That's a different
Absolutely.
conversation. But right now, that's not the case.
No, it's not. You know what was real? Jim Ryan running around trying to make every game out there exclusive to PlayStation. You know what else is real? That Phil went out there and spent $80 billion so that he didn't have to continue to fight back and forth with Jim Ryan
Just
about
bought the building,
he
baby.
bought the building,
Bought the
right?
building.
And now he's gonna what? Go ahead now that these first party games are finally rolling in, and we're gonna have an amazing 2024 and an incredible 2025, right? So
Yep.
now what are we gonna do? We're gonna
Now we're
put
gonna
them
give
on a
all those
silver
games away.
platter
Now we're gonna give all the
and
games
give
away.
them to PlayStation and Nintendo. Now, okay,
Absolutely.
if that makes sense to you guys, then I mean, go ahead and run with it. But it makes absolutely no sense to me.
It doesn't. And I think with that, I think we said our piece. But I do want to end with this joker right here. Timur Hussein. Put Halo on Switch. Now, Timur Hussein is a managing editor of GameSpot. Okay. The same managing editor at GameSpot who was okay with the idea that, let's give Starfield this lower score for no reason when everybody else in the world, all the other outlets are doing it. They follow IGN. They're part of the same pony, herd or whatever a group of ponies are called. I couldn't even tell you. But
I understand
it's
why
just
you
trying to,
all want the games,
yeah, they're desperate for
but
games.
you ain't gonna get them.
Facts. With that, Doodle, we are out of this bitch. Doodle, we're gonna end the show the way we end every single show. Doodle,
Yes,
we're done.
we are.
Until next time,
You're intruding.
you're in charge.